Hi y'all, how's it going today? So this is funny. I was actually gonna set this for like 10 minutes from now, but I did the wrong setting. So now I'm live. So hi, how are you? And actually I'm supposed to do my sessions at 7, but I needed to do it a little bit earlier. So welcome to Recovery Tuesdays. This is usually when I do my soul strengthening sessions, but it's interchangeable. Recovery Tuesday, soul strengthening sessions, because we're really getting to the same thing and same principle, which is healing your soul realm. And I am introducing today our love series. I started this yesterday on Mind Heart Mondays, and it's interesting. I'm starting to see these connections. As I shared, I think I shared it yesterday or last night, that the Lord keeps showing me twos. So I had 2 songs for 2026 soundtrack, 2 songs for the February soundtrack, which has never happened before. And yes, I have been gleaning back to the year 2022 because that was a very, very pivotal year for me. 2022 was a pivotal year for me. A lot happened in my life. And a lot changed in my life. Some of it was a surprise to me, even though I knew the Lord was leading me on certain things. So I have chosen this month to dedicate this love series for us. Now, I did teach on this back in 2022, and that's what I was sharing yesterday, that I had a 3-part series on love. And I talked about the foundational pieces to this. So I talked about loving God, loving yourself, and loving others. And then I did a counterpart to it, which was honor. Honor God, honor yourself, and honor others. So if you're interested, please feel free to rewind the She's Restored YouTube video series and go back and watch it. Or go back and watch it if you've already watched it. But even as I was writing this, I feel like this is going to be one of those where I'm not going to be as prepped as I was before on this, because I feel like this is going to be more organic. Even yesterday I was sensing this too. Like, I have the outline, I have the template of what I want to share. But I'm not, every time I sit down, I'm like, it's not coming to me, which is interesting. So I feel like this just kind of goes with the spontaneity and the surprise element of this, because I have been feeling very, I've been feeling nostalgic, and I've been feeling, it's happening to me again, you guys. This happened to me last night, okay? And I was sharing about how I would have these random joyous overtaking random moments that happened to me. And it's been a very, very long time since this happened to me. And this was a sign at the time and a symbol of something specific. And so this is happening for me again. So yes, if I start laughing out of nowhere, just enjoy, just glean, just enjoy the overflow of the glitter that's coming your way, because I don't know what the Lord is doing, but I love it and I'm excited. So with this said, and I love love, so I get giddy when I talk about love anyways. But yes, I have a lot for y'all this month, and I'm kind of doing it like as far as live streams. I'm definitely doing it on our Mind Heart Mondays and Recovery Tuesdays, but I might be doing more videos. I don't know. So just be ready. Just be ready for the surprise element of this. Hi, how's it going? Welcome everybody. Good to see you all. Thanks for saying hello in the chat. I love that. I welcome you to my channel, and I welcome you to the family if you are subscribing. By the way, I have a lot of great things to share, and some of what I have been working on behind the scenes, some of the stuff that I've been building. And again, this is very interesting because I started officially my my life coaching through She's Restored in 2022. That was the year I launched it. So it's interesting. A lot is coming full circle for me in my career, my area of like calling and career. So I'm kind of excited about this. So yeah, there's a lot to come. But let's get into this. Hi, everybody. Good to see you guys. How is February going? It's the third day. I feel like I've been talking on here for 3 days in a row. Did I? Yes, I have, because I came on Sunday, didn't I? I don't know. Maybe this is what we're going to do. Maybe I'm going to come on live every day this month. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So, Recovery Tuesdays. When we're getting into this recovery, we are talking about recovery from the misunderstanding, the misalignment, the misguidance about love. Because we've all had this happen to us, okay? But first, I want to define what is love. Just in case you're not following me on Mind Heart Mondays or any other thing that I'm doing, I want to give you the fullness of this. So let's define love first. And I'm going to define love in its purest and deepest form, and that is spiritual. Okay? God is love. He is the source of love. He is the spirit of love. So if I'm to understand what love is, I must be connected to the spirit. My spirit must be connected to the spirit. Even if you are in a place where you don't even know what I'm talking about, you do have a connection to your creator, the creator of the universe. And he is always pointing us to who he is. Okay, so there's always reflections of his love or his peace. I just finished a series on peace not that long ago, or his joy, or really anything that is the essence of God's spirit. So, those little moments, those little encounters, even if you're walking outside and you see a beautiful sunset on the beach, God is reflecting his character, his essence through what he's created. Okay, so God is love. And where do I get this from? Well, I get this from a specific passage which I read yesterday. Probably going to read it again just to kind of gain context. And then we're going to get into what I'm going to be teaching in this particular live stream this month, because it is going to be a little bit different than the Mind Heart Mondays, but they are going to connect and they're going to complement each other. So if you're watching both, you're going to get the fullness of what I'm teaching. Just FYI. Okay, so with that said, let me start with this passage, and this is found in 1 John. 1 John is literally at the end, in the back of the New Testament. I think. I was just here yesterday. Yes. So it's like one book away from the book of Revelation. Okay. Or technically 4 books away, because there's three First Johns. Or there's a first, a second, and a third John is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so God is love. And let me just read this, and so that you can hear the spiritual foundational understanding to this, and let it minister to you, even if you've never heard these words or you don't even read the Bible. This is spiritual, so what I'm reading to you is going to connect to your spirit, and it's going to speak to you. Okay? So, beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Okay, so straight away, I must know this love, to love others. Again, this series that I taught in 2022, this is why I did it the way I did it. I did the love of God and loving God because I must first know the source of love. And then the second part was loving yourself, where I taught you how, in order for me to truly love myself, I must first know the love of God. Okay, and that love pours into me. It heals me, it delivers me, it sets me free from everything that is counter to that love that I was misled, I was misguided, or misaligned. Okay, whether it was how I was raised or the adult relationships that I had later, whatever it was for you, we all have these soul ties and strongholds from this misguided love from our life. Okay, and then the third one was loving others. So the degree that I have this revelation of love for myself is how is the strength of how I will love others. Okay, very important to understand this. So, and anyone who does not know love does not know God, because God is. Hi, welcome everybody. In this love, or in this, the love of God was made manifest among us. That God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. In this is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins. Okay, so God literally gave everything he had for us. And through Christ, we are adopted sons and daughters into the kingdom of God. Okay, so some of this is just beyond us understanding, because it is beyond intellectual understanding. Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. Okay, so I shared this yesterday because I thought it was very profound, how it was intertwined, that no one has ever, it says no one has ever seen God, right? Because we don't see him, not yet, but we know his spirit, we feel his spirit. And if we love, it says, if we love one another, God abides in us and his love is perfected in us. So in other words, we see God through the love that others have, because that is his essence. He is love. So even if you're in a space or a place, like I said, that you're not even thinking about God, like you're not really connecting, you don't really feel like you have a relationship with him. If you have people in your life that are showing you love, that are representing his character, then you see God through those people. It's beautiful. By this we know that we abide in him and he in us, because he has given us of his Spirit. And we have seen and testify that the Father has sent his Son to be the Savior of the world. Whoever confesses that Jesus is the Son of God, God abides in him and he is in God. And he in God. So we have come to know and to believe the love that God has for us. God is love, and whoever abides in love abides in God, and God abides in him. Okay, and it's almost like, it sounds like it's repeating itself, but it's actually taking you deeper with every verse. This profound understanding that if I am abiding in God, he abides in me, and therefore love it's beyond us, and it's beautiful. By this is love perfected with us, so that we may have confidence for the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. Okay, that's right there. That's just a lot of mind-blowing truth. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. When I first read this, I thought it was interesting because we have always been taught that the opposite of love is hate. But it's actually fear. It's fear that's the opposite of love. And that's a whole other teaching. But fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love. I'll say one more thing about this. God has not given us a spirit of fear. This is another verse. But of power, love, and a sound mind. Okay? When I am born again in the Spirit, my revelation of love and fear is reborn too. Because I have been literally taken out of the kingdom of darkness, brought into the kingdom of light, and my eyes begin to see truth. My eyes begin to see the way things really are. And though I may be afraid, of course there are times in our life where we're afraid. Things happen to us, we go through things, but it is not any longer the authority and the power that dominates my life, nor am I blindly subjected to it like I would have been before I had this revelation of love. Okay, so this is very important, especially those of you that are struggling with fear or anxiety. If you're new, I teach on this all the time. And sorry, all my notifications are coming in at the same time. So I apologize if that interrupted our stream, but love, perfect love casts out fear. Okay? Verse 19, we love because he first loved us. Again, I can love through love himself. Okay? If anyone says, I love God and hates his neighbor, he is a liar. For he who does not love his neighbor, whom he has seen, cannot love God whom he has not seen. Again, this is the understanding that it is the fruit. You will know them by their fruit. You will know a person's character by their fruit, by the fruit of their words, the fruit of their actions, and if it is in fact marked by love. And you will know that, especially if you are spiritually aligned and born again, you can tell someone's character through the discernment, the spirit of discernment, in spite of what they say. And this is just a beautiful what's the word, a benefit of having your spiritual sight restored, that I can see through what I am seeing. Okay? And this commandment we have from him, whoever loves God must also love his neighbor. So that's the passage where we get this revelation, understanding that God is love, therefore it is spiritual. Love is first spiritual. In fact, everything is first spiritual. It is the foundation and source of our nature, of who we are. Though, yes, we live in a physical realm, and for most of us, I am super attached and super connected to my physical life and my physical existence, that I often forget I am more than what I'm going through. I'm more than what I've been through. I'm more than what's coming against me. And I'm more than the pain I'm suffering. I'm more than the relationships that are unhealthy in my life. I am a spiritual being, and when I am spiritually aligned to the source of my being, then I'm already positioned to receive power, love, and a sound mind. And that in turn pours into my soul realm, which is what I teach on all the time. and it strengthens my mind. I'm able to learn how to renew my mind and have a sound mind. That in turn pours into my emotional realm. So my emotional problems can become steady and stable. And then, of course, I can make great decisions for my life. And that obviously affects my physical realm and my physical life. So, with that said, I'm just going to briefly go over this one again because I want to make sure you get it as well. But we're going to 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. If you were here with me last night, I totally forgot where it was, and it was kind of funny, but not really, because this is actually a foundational text, I feel, of scripture that we should all know. And if you don't, I'm about to teach you. So this is found in the New Testament as well, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 through 8. Now, these are the characteristics of what love is and what love is not. I'm going to preface by saying what I said yesterday, which is we all struggle. You're going to find, as I'm reading these off, that you connect and it resonates, either because you are strong in this area or you are not strong in this area. And this is why I feel this is deliberate, as a sort of like a mirror to reflect back to us on where we need to improve and where we are doing excellent. So here it goes. Love is patient and kind. And I love how, I'm just going to kind of expound on this because I shared this yesterday, but I love how it starts with patience and kindness. This is actually the fruit of the Spirit, you guys, which is found in, I'm going to quiz myself here. I think it's found in the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians. Am I wrong? Galatians 5:22. Let me look it up. I'm going to be sad if I'm wrong. I was right. Okay, yes, Galatians 5:22. Okay, this is the fruit of the Spirit. I'm going to read it real quick. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's actually 9 fruits. But yes, so this is the fruit of the Spirit. So when you hear, you will know them by their fruit, this is what it means. Do they have the fruit of the Spirit? Are they walking in the Spirit of God? There's also bad fruit. And that's a whole other teaching, but yes, there's toxic fruit that we can be exemplifying in our life, based on what spirit we're operating under. So let's come back to this though. So love is patient and kind. And again, I like how it put them together. It's almost like they're twin sisters or twin brothers. Patience and kindness. If I have patience, I will be kind. And if I'm kind, it's because I have patience. It's almost like they're inseparable. They need one another to they need to coexist to bring the fruit of love. So, do you struggle with these? Patience and kindness? Or are you very good and strong in this area? Love does not envy or boast. Okay, envy is coveting what you don't have. It's a little different than jealousy. It's more about, I want what somebody else has because I don't like what I have. That's envy. It's coveting. And boasting is to puff oneself up in whatever area it is, because there's all kinds of things that people can boast about. But it comes from the spirit of pride, and pride is a very dangerous and treacherous place to be. It is not arrogant or rude. Okay, so again, it's putting these two together, arrogance and rude. Okay, which again, rude is the opposite of being kind. So if you're arrogant, most likely you're going to be rude. And if you're rude, it's because you have a spirit of arrogance. Is this something you struggle with? Or are you not? Are you humble and gentle with others? It does not insist on its own way. Anybody here? Do you insist on your own way? Do you feel like I always have to get what I want? Like it's got to be my way or no way? It is not irritable or resentful. Okay? Now, resentment is a stage. Actually, it's going into the deeper and darker stages of anger. Resentment is actually it's a form of anger, but it's a type of anger that is already trying to dig its heels in and take root in your heart or your mind. And then, of course, irritability. I mean, we could all say I get irritable. I mean, I get irritable when, I haven't eaten all day, or if I feel sick, I get a little cranky. Everybody has, that's why I say this is a powerful description, because we all either struggle with some of this or we're very strong in it, or the counter of it. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Okay, so to rejoice is to be in a perpetual state of joy, or to take pleasure and be happy about something. It says it does not rejoice in wrongdoing. So if you actually get a thrill or kicks out of doing wrong, or being mean or things like that, you're not walking in love, is what it's saying. It rejoices with the truth. Okay, and of course, truth and love are always together. They cannot be separated from one another. At least spiritually speaking, the Lord Jesus is truth and God is love, and they are one. Okay, so, and this is number 7, and this is the one that I always feel speaks to me the loudest, because it is completely not human. And it can only be attained and achieved and acquired and accessed through God Himself. Number 7, love bears all things. Okay, to bear is to carry all things. Love bears all things. So again, this is beautiful when you look at it in both perspectives. Number 1, since God is love, it is really what it's saying is God bears all things. If you replace the word love with God, God bears all things. God believes all things. God hopes all things. God endures all things. Okay? So we have this concept that and this understanding that this is supernatural. Because none of us at all times could bear all things. There are some things that are too much to bear. Or believe all things. Or hope all things. Or certainly to endure all things. I mean, it takes a lot of spiritual strength to endure all things. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience. The only way I could endure some of the things I've been through, personally speaking, is through God, through His Spirit, through His counsel, through His wisdom, and through certainly His love for me. So if I am to live this out, I can't do it apart from Him. And then, of course, verse 8, love never ends, because again, love is spiritual, it's eternal, it is, it always was, and it always will be. So when I am as a human being, spiritually aligned and connected to God, who is love, then I begin to be imparted with not only the revelation of his love, but the ability to receive his love, which is the first space and place that I must be in, is to receive the love. Now, for a lot of us, this is hard because we've been through stuff, and we have walls up, and we have things that we haven't overcome, and things that we haven't healed from. So I'm not able to receive love. For others, it's the opposite. You're not able to give love for whatever reasons, again, because of your life experience. But this is why this stage, when I begin to receive God's love and understand, not just mentally understand it, but to believe in it, it starts to change me. It starts to change how I think about myself, how I think about God, how I think about myself, and how I think about others. And this is a lifelong process. So if you are here, take courage that you already have the posture for victory, because you already know who love is. Okay, so that's that for the scriptures. Any questions, by the way? Anybody, if you're watching on the live stream or on the replay and you have any questions or comments, please feel free to share. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say and what is going on with you. So for this, I'm just going to do the overview. So for this particular stream, I have I'm going to do three videos. The first one, I felt like these were kind of very general but important, I guess, categories, for lack of a better word. But there's going to be a lot in each one. Okay, so the first one I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to start this next week, is family. Family, and I titled this Family, Tribe, and Divinely Aligned and Assigned People in our lives. Okay, the reason I have it listed like this is because we have our family, right? We are born into a family. We all have our earthly inherited family. And then we have, and I put it tribe, I might call it something else later, but I put tribe because we also have people, or I hope we have people, and if you don't, then I promise you will at some point, have people in our life that are truly connected to us, not by blood, but by spirit. Okay, so this is spiritual family. And this is a beautiful, when you get this revelation that you have family that are of the spirit, that care for you, that will literally answer the phone at 3 a.m. if you're going through something, that are not your blood. They're just of the spirit, and they just can discern the need, and they're there for you. Okay, and if you don't have these people in your life, I pray that you do, and you will, that God will bring these people that are spiritual family to be in your life. And with that said, there are different seasons that we have these people in our life. Sometimes they're here for a season, and then sometimes they turn out to be lifelong family for us. Okay, and of course, I mean, our earthly family, these are the people that we grew up with. These are the people that are most familiar to us, because we are we're blood relatives. And at the same time, there can also be dynamics in our family where we might be blood relatives, but we're actually not very close, or we've been through some breakdowns because, and actually, I will say this is probably more prevalent now because of what God's been doing, certainly since 2021, and I've shared a lot of this if you're interested in knowing more. But I talked about this divine alignment and how there was a spiritual division happening in people, and that some of us were realizing and understanding that family is spiritual first, truly. But yes, of course, we honor our family, we love them, but sometimes the spiritual family you begin to understand that's your true family, because they really truly are there. And then the divinely aligned and assigned are people that God brings into your life for his divine purpose and assignments in this earth realm. Okay, so these can be like co-laborers in whatever God's calling you to do. This can be, and of course, these people can become friends, and they can even become part of your tribe. But people that are truly led by the Spirit, that know they must be connected to you because you have kind of an aligned path. Whatever it is that God's calling you to do, and of course, once you understand this about yourself, what is my calling, my purpose, and my assignment, then this revelation comes to you much quicker, and it is easier to discern and to spot. And of course, it comes through the spirit realm. So if you're in a space where you're trying to figure out, like, who are my people, who are the people that really are for me, and who are not, who are just pretending to be my people and not really there, this discernment comes from the Spirit. And especially now, and this is a teaching for another time, but especially now, this is very important to understand. I shared not too long ago about discerning my circle, like who are truly my people. And here's another thing to remember, because a lot of times, especially those of us that are, really attached or easily attached, it can be daunting to realize some people are not assigned to my life anymore, even if they're people I've known all my life. When God is elevating you, or when God's trying to take you deeper into his path for your life, a lot of times you will be disconnected from people you once were connected to. And this is just, again, it's part of that divine alignment and assignment. And it's just very important to know that for yourself and to discern, this is how it is. Okay, so the second teaching I will be sharing, and probably the second video, is on friends, followers. I call this friends, followers, and faded connections. I like to rhyme, you guys. I'm a poetess. I can't help it. So friends, followers, and faded connections. Faded connections, I kind of categorize this for like work-related things. Like you were fated to be in this time, in this place, and these are the people that were connected to you then or now. Followers are not the same as friends. And also, again, the same thing with friends. So friends, for a lot of us, everybody's different. There are some of us that have a lot of friends, but they're not very close. You're one of those people that's just, you easily connect, or you know how to banter, you know how to like find common interest in conversation, but you are not very close to those people. These are just a lot of people, a lot of people. For others of us, we have very few friends, but they're very close. or maybe they were at some point. But even in this area, like I was sharing with the family, and God is bringing, we are entering this new dimension that I've been talking about. God is going to be bringing some people into our life that are going to be here for the long haul. So take courage. If some of us are feeling like, where are my people, or what's happening? And again, discern your season. You might be in a winter season where God is kind of removing some people from your life so that you can align to the new life that God is giving you. Followers are, this would be I would kind of categorize this as like acquaintances, or stalkers, or people that are just monitoring spirits that are kind of watching you from afar for whatever reasons. Now, this can also be, there's so much here, you guys. I mean, this could be like people that have ill intentions or selfish ambition. And these can also be people that God has put on your heart, on their heart. God has put you on their heart because they're going to align to you divinely and be co-laborers, or they're going to be collaborators on, you know, some work that you're going to be doing, or, you know, in your projects or whatever it is, work, business, whatever it is, that they already know, oh, this is a person and I'm going to be reaching out to them. So they might be following you for that purpose. But this is also very important to discern. And this is where we're going to get into this understanding of toxic and healthy. And when you get deeper in the spirit, you begin to understand how I can receive and rebuke what is coming at me. So, and then the third one is relationships. So I'm going to talk about relationships. I'm going to talk about all of it. I'm going to talk about healthy ones, toxic ones, and God-ordained ones, because this is very, very important for us to know that, and the level of my revelation understanding of this has everything to do with how deep in the trenches I am in my own recovery, in my own healing journey. Because again, if I am on the toxic side of, and I haven't shared this in a while, but I'm on the toxic side of either being an empath or being a narcissist, I'm already at a disadvantage. So the more in tune I am with how I am, who I am, my default nature, the roots of my brokenness, how regressed or advanced I am in my recovery when it comes to the stuff I've been through, you know, how is my level of forgiveness, where am I in my love walk? I mean, all of this is so important for us to understand for ourselves, so that I can, again, love pours into me, it heals me, it delivers me, and then it strengthens me to then love others and love others appropriately. For a lot of us, we've had a very negative example or experience with love. I say example meaning mostly like when I was younger. And I've shared this a lot before, but maybe someone in my life that I looked up to that did not show me a good reflection of good love, of whole love, of healthy love. So I began to hate myself. I began to have self-image issues, or I began to have a poor sense of worth, whatever it is for you. And for others of us, experiences, it could have been when I was older. Maybe I dated somebody and I gave them my trust, I gave them everything, and I ended up being cheated on. These things affect us. And again, if I don't have that true love revelation, I will carry that pain into other relationships. Sorry, y'all, I didn't turn my ringer off. Sorry. But that's why this is so important to heal, to get well, and to release the toxicity of my misguided understanding of love. So that's all. This is the introduction and overview for what we're going to be getting into. So next Tuesday, we're going to start with the family tribe and divinely aligned and assigned people in our lives, and how to love them in a healthy way, on both sides of the spectrum, whether they're toxic people or whether they're people that are also learning to heal and are doing their best to love as well. And then, yeah, and we'll continue. By the way, I do encourage you to watch yesterday's live stream because I shared a lot on the song messages. And I feel like I'm going to be sharing a lot more, you guys, because I don't know, this month the Lord is doing something amazing. For one, I've been on here every day so far, so I don't know if this is what we're going to do. We'll see. But yeah, I pray that you love yourself, that love the Lord and love one another. And I pray that you have a really great rest of the day whenever you're watching this. And I'll be back tomorrow for our anxiety and depression support live stream. I'm pretty much, I can already tell you now, I'm pretty much just going to do that as a Q&A. So come tomorrow with your questions or your testimony and be ready to just have a nice little chat. And let me know, do a check-in and let me know how you're doing with your anxiety and your depression. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about how to love yourself through it, because that's important too. When you're in recovery from anything, it's very important to show yourself a lot of grace, especially when you're seriously trying to do your best. And grace comes from love. So, love y'all. See you tomorrow and have a great night. Bye.